I want to welcome everyone. Aloha and welcome to this live Healing Moments program with Karinna Nielsen. And we do this the first Saturday of every month. And we're live on Zoom, and we're doing it on Facebook this time. How cool is that? So our Healing Moments program is dedicated to healing the self and aging our souls to move forward on our evolutionary journeys. Each month, we create a space to look at life's big questions about healing and consciously creating our experience. Together, we're finding the answers, tuning into our hearts to move into the new dimensional energies. This month's topic is Ascension and Moving into New Dimensions. Can it be that simple? So let's find out, because there's a lot of talk about ascension right now. And I want to get all of you in on the conversation. So if you have a question, if you're with me on Zoom, you could put it into the chat. And if you're with me on Facebook, you could put it into Facebook Messenger, which I've got pulled up, and I can see your questions there. And I welcome everybody here live, and those looking at the recording later or Facebook. The recording will be up on my YouTube channel a little bit later today, so you can always go back there to get the recording. Okay, so let's begin by doing a little centering, because it's a hectic time. We've just moved from the 8 months of August, which was about balancing and the infinity motion of weaving the energy between the two worlds. And now we're in a month of completions and new beginnings. And boy, I'm going to share some things with you today. And maybe you could share some things with me that you've experienced, but it's rolling. We're having completions and new beginnings. Right? So let's center, and I'm going to offer a prayer. But first, let's do just a breath at each of the 5 placements for the 5 breath self-healing meditation. And if you're not clear on the 5 breath self-healing meditation, my mentor and the founder of Signature Self-Healing, Fred Sterling, does this every Sunday at the Sunday Healing Service at Honolulu Church of Light. Or you can go to signaturecellhealing.com and get the video, or there's an ebook instructional booklet that will show you how to do it. But there are 5 hand placements. And so I want to take you through the breathing first. So you're going to imagine these golden particles above your crown chakra. And then you take a dolphin breath and you just bring it in through your crown, down through the pineal gland, and then down into your heart, and you lock it there between the in-breath and the out-breath, and you weave all 4 bodies together: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And then you release through your mouth and let the light come from your heart up to your shoulders, through your arms, and out your palms. And we're going to place our palms in different places on our body. And this is just the start. So it's normally 5 breaths at each placement, but today we'll just do 1 at each place. So you're curious about how can I work with this, right? Okay, so put your right palm on top of your crown and your crown chakra, and then the left palm on top. Take a breath in, lock it, and let the light go through your palms and into your skull, into your head, and just breathe in all of that golden light. It's turning into white light as it enters your crown. And then the next placement is, I'm going to push my glasses up, take them off, and you take your middle finger and your index finger and you place them right over your closed eyelids. Breathe in deeply to your heart, lock it. Exhale through your fingers into your eyes, and let the light go all the way back through your eyes and to the vagus nerve in the back of your head. And that vagus nerve connects with all the organs in your body. The next placement is here at your heart muscle, a little bit to the left of your chest, and your thumbs pointing upward. And so we place it there and breathe in through your crown, golden particles. They change to white light. Exhale into your heart muscle, and it's just that wonderful feeling of love coming into your physical body. And then the next placement is at your third chakra. So breathe in, lock it, let the light go all through your abdomen, this whole area. And the last placement is down at your second chakra, just above the pubic area. Breathe in, lock it, and feel the light go all through the reproductive organs, your digestive tract, your urinary tract, and just now keep breathing. Keep drawing in these golden particles and feeling them turn into white light for your journey. And I'll say a short prayer for us as we begin our program today. So keep breathing. I call upon the Creator's light, the Christ light, the Goddess wave of love, and all the beautiful energies of love and light that guide us in our journey here on earth. We're talking about the ascension process today, and we know that all of us are engaged, but we're never alone. We're never alone. We're always connected to each other, to our guidance, into our higher selves. And as we go through this process, there may be changes in our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. But if we breathe and continue to do the practices that we know nurture us and allow us to elevate our vibration and to engage the great shift energies that are happening now on this planet, we know that we will move forward in love each and every day. So I call upon all the guides and angels and guardian lights to bless this gathering today and everyone on it as we engage in the questions and the answers and the energies of ascension. We're so humbly grateful. In love, amen. So I'm happy to have everybody with me here today. I'm just kind of having fun with Facebook Live now today. I think we did it. Yay. It tells me I'm recording live on Facebook. So if anybody has questions from Facebook, let's see. I got a message here already. Okay. So that's just a message about connecting. So we're okay. And what I'd like to do first is let you know that we can do questions and answers anytime that you're ready. So put it on there. Bhavana has wished us a happy Catterday. Thank you very much, because that certainly applies at our house. Although they're all gone now, it's hot here and they've all found a cool place to rest today. And Mahina Ku wishes us also a happy Saturday. Thank you very much. You there in your matching outfit with new t-shirt and matching mask was what we're wearing in lockdown these days. So I want you to ask your questions anytime you want. You're muted, but you can always place your question in the chat or on Messenger, or you can raise your hand and I'll unmute you, or you can unmute yourself. And it's a very important topic today, and everybody comes from a different perspective on it. So I encourage you to bring your perspective on the ascension. So our topic today, as I said, is ascension and moving into new dimensions. Can it be that simple? Well, let's find out. For me, it's not that simple. I don't know about you, maybe it's simple for you, but every day I'm engaging this process. And let me just read you what I had on the webinar page on my website, KarinnaNielsen.com. It says, please join me for the Healing Moments program on the hot topic of ascension and moving into new dimensions. Hot topic? Yes, that's right, because every spiritualist seems to have an opinion on it. So what do you think? So that's why it's important. We have our own questions and answers today. So what is ascension all about? How do you see that process? It is a process, right? Do you feel complete with the third dimension? How do we know this if we are complete? And where are we ascending to? Is it the fifth dimension? What happened to the fourth? Is there a sixth dimension? What about the seventh dimension? Is this new dimension a place, an awareness, or something else? So how do you see that? So you might be thinking, well, I've been good. I should be ascending, right? Perhaps it's not about good versus bad. Maybe it's more about completions and new beginnings. So are you complete with your third dimensional experience? Any loose ends, like maybe unbalanced relationships, unfulfilled promises, or people you really just can't stand? And what about that meditation thing? Do we really have to do it every day? Wow. So this is our topic for today. Everybody has a different take on ascension. I was asked by a dear friend of mine to talk about ascension. She said, and I said, why do you want to know about ascension? And she said, because everybody wants to know about ascension and everybody's talking about it. And I thought, well, okay, that sounds all right. Let's see what, and you know, what do you know? As soon as I put the topic up there, I did find other people engaging about this topic. So that's interesting. So the first question we have here comes from Goddess Sister Mahina Ku, who says, how will the celestial body support us during this month? Okay, so let's talk a little bit. Thank you for that question. So let's talk a little bit about the month of September, because I don't know about you, but every September, I go through this energy of completions and new beginnings, and it's very tangible. It's very personal. And I'm sure all of you can share something about, you know, completions you've had in the month of September. In the Lemurian numerology, the 9 represents completions and new beginnings. And with a 9, you're already in the completion. So you can say, I'm complete and ready to begin. What you could say that, but then you got to look for the completions, because you might be in the completion but don't realize it, that it's time to move on, to let go of something. So completion is the energy of closing one aspect of the journey and moving into something new. So make sure that you're not holding on to something that you may have already mastered or moved beyond, because we've gone through 6 mastery, 7 transition, and 8 the infinity process that weaves the spiritual energies with our human world. So that's the energy we're in. For me personally, I always think of my mother passed away this month, and when in the year that she passed away, when we entered September, I just knew, you know, she was just going downhill really, really fast. And I knew that she wanted to get out of here. Just sounds really cruel. And at that time, I mean, I was desperately trying to help her, whatever I could do. My dad they were both in nursing home. And now when I look back on it, it was just, the 9 energy was just a blessing for her, because she was able to depart this world and get into her angelic presence, which she's still interacting with me today and helping me. I'm so grateful. So, you know, that 9, we didn't make it through the end. It was the 26th of September that she passed away, and it just felt right. It felt right. There was no way I would even want her to stay at that point. And then also this month, in this year, I've been feeling a lot of compelling energies to complete things that have been hanging there. You know, I could talk about the construction on our house. Then my husband and I are engaged in another round of completions and new beginnings of reconstruction of a certain part of the house. So we know that when we do this, it's not like, oh God, here we go again. What it is we're taking it to another level, hopefully. So we're elevating the experience. So just because you've done it before doesn't mean that, you know, you're in a spiral. Make sure that you're elevating it. And how can you tell that you're elevating the experience? You could go into your heart and you could say, how do I feel about this? So, you know, if you feel like, if you're angry or you're getting upset about it, then you're probably in a spiraled energy and you haven't moved forward. But if you can feel it with love and support whoever's in that completion with you, or, you know, love yourself for actually seeing that completion and taking a step toward it, then you know that you're in that ascension energy. So getting back to Mahina Ku's question, how will the celestial bodies support us during this month? You know, there is a lot of incoming spiritual energy that I personally have felt in the last couple of days since we shifted into September. And I don't know, Mahina Ku, perhaps you felt this as well. There is, I had meditations, especially particularly one where I have let go of the guide that I've been working with, Goddess Sophia. I love her, and I still have a lot of articles, channelings with her that I'll be getting out to you and to Sedona Journal. However, there's a new guide now, and I'm working with this new guide, and so that's a completion and a new beginning. So we don't always know what these completions are going to be, but the etheric energies are supporting this planet, and what I feel is a lot of light coming in. Now, we in the United States, and all of us here live on the call, I can see, are in the United States. Though, you know, we might have associations with other countries, like I do. I do because my husband is European. So I'll get you in just a second, Bhavana. So what I feel is we in this country are very, very focused because of our media, our social media, the energies that we're in, because we're in the grips of this pandemic, and we're so focused on staying safe and healthy and whatever the regulations are for wherever we live, that we're so focused on our own country that perhaps we don't see what's going on in the rest of the world. And there is a lot of light coming onto this planet. And what I feel is the shadow areas are being compressed in a way. So there are areas of the planet that are going to be in a kind of a third dimensional, still in a shadowy energy. There are the rest of the planet, there are a lot of people, a lot of light workers that are stepping up. When we do that global healing meditation for Mother Earth every month, and we will do it this month on the 29th, and you can read about that on my website, KarinnaNielsen.com, and we would love to have you participate with us. There are more and more people participating in that meditation every month. And you can feel, even those that don't identify themselves, you can feel the rising energy of light workers united in this process. So it's so important now that we focus on the light and find out how are the celestial energies working for us personally. So that means meditation is a non-negotiable thing now, folks, non-negotiable. Twice a day, you know, I used to say, yeah, maybe once or twice a day if you can, blah, blah, blah. No, you've got to do it now. You've got to be engaged in it. So please consider in the morning, in the evening, you know, sometime during the day if it feels better for you, but breathe, do your 5 breath self-healing meditation, of course, and breathe and meditate and connect into the spiritual energies. If you like automatic writing, which I do, you can meditate and then afterwards have a short communication with your own celestial energies, with your own guidance. There is a broader focus on planet Earth for the whole universe right now, because we are not just some we are a long ways away from any other, galaxies and things like that. And even within our own galaxy, we're pretty far out on the wing. But the creator's force knows about planet Earth. And there are masses, legions of celestial energies that are engaged with this planet right now because we are in a very critical time. It's 2020, and this is the four energy in this year. It's a four energy, right? So we're focused on moving as many people as possible into that higher thought awareness of a fourth dimensional field, and then opening up to other dimensional possibilities. So I hope that answers your question, Mahinaku, about the celestial energies. I get a thumbs up. Yeah. Okay, so let's have Bhavana. I'm going to unmute you. Wait, no. There you go. Okay, Bhavana, you have a comment. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Aloha to Kauai. How are you?
Aloha. It's a beautiful sunny day. You could see out there. And my kitty, he made a little cameo. It's still cool in the morning. So here he is. He's like in a little daze. He's like, what am I doing? Am I listening? Am I going to go to sleep? Like, what a life. He just ate breakfast and he's like, I'm going to just sleep all day. You know what I mean? I'm going to sleep it off. Catter-day, yeah. And I feel sleepy too. The roosters have been going off, and
oh yes, that's a feature of Kauai.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, speaking of completions, and I was in I don't know about the Lemuria. I was in a 9-month. This was a 9-month for me. I'm in a 1 year, and so what I did was sort of this wave came over me. I got rid of this old furniture. Even some of it wasn't that old. I bought it when I came in the house and I just didn't really like it. It wasn't that comfortable, or I didn't really use it. And I just started selling stuff and I made some sales, and I was like, maybe I should get in the business of flipping furniture because I made some good sales. And I bought this new beautiful Lazy Boy, which is like so soft and comfy.
Oh, nice.
I've been falling asleep on the Lazy Boy, which means I hear the roosters because the cat door is open near me. But anyway, whatever. What are you going to do? I can nap later. So first of all, I wanted to say I really appreciate the positivity, and I really appreciate these dialogues regarding ascension, and we're moving forward because, I hear of things happening. Like a friend of mine is a physical therapist, chiropractor. She has a thriving office with other people who work there. And one of her aides, she found out he's been repeatedly getting corona tests, and they all come up negative except for one came positive. And he told her about the positive one, and she had to shut the whole office down and still pay everyone and pay her rent. And she's making him get 2 negative tests to go back, open it up, And anyway, there's that sort of thing going on. And then there's other places that are quite restricted and shut down. On Kauai, we still have our quarantine. We still have that. Businesses are just shutting down right and left, or they're way behind in their rent. So there's all of that going on. But I think it is a deep ascension process that rocks the boat. But then there is the stream. You get to that stream, the storm pass. And so that's what I wanted to. And then, I left a relationship. I had most of my time here. It got to be increasingly toxic. And I said, I deserve better. There's somebody better. And this is, this is going to, if I don't, I've ended this already a few times over these years. This is the final ending of the final endings. Because if whatever I didn't learn, I obviously, if just move on. Learning, no learning. You already learned it, and you learned it again and again. And just, I'm meeting some new people. I've been going out. I've been making new friends. Good. My healing work is taking off, and it's not taking that long. So I would say, if people are in the same circumstance, it's not working, or things they're struggling with, if you actually go down a different road, it might not even take that long for you to see the changes occur. It's just a matter of having the courage and the resistance that comes up. And I think that's like the 3D experience, right? The body, the emotions, the mind, but then our spirit is up here. It's like, but what about here? You know, what's somewhere over the rainbow? There is something out
I
there.
love that.
Hello, and you get nudged and nudged, and finally you're like, all right, I've had it. I'm done being pissed off. I'm done being depressed. I'm done being whatever. And you know what? I'm just having a great time. So yeah.
Well,
And
thank you for that,
yeah.
Bhavana, because it really is a choice. It is a choice,
Mhm.
and thank you. I'll just put you back on mute, but I appreciate
Yeah.
your share on that, because, and let me talk a little bit about that, because it's a choice that we make, but we make the choice when we really are ready to make the choice, right? When are we actually ready to make the choice? So I'll give you an example, and this was something that something that happened to me a year ago, almost a year ago, last year in October. I had an experience where I was seeing a professional. Okay, it's a dentist. Okay, and something happened, and it's not, you know, it's not something embarrassing, or, well, it was a little embarrassing, and I didn't have the courage at that very moment to say something, you know, to say something to the person. And it wasn't the dentist, it was the dentist's wife. Okay. So, and I didn't say anything. I went along with it. And you know what? For about 11 months, every time I look at a toothbrush, can you imagine? I brush my teeth twice a day. I thought about that, you know, and I've been carrying that with me for about 10 months. And it's not really a big deal, but it's a completion, see? And it's something that I know in my heart I needed to do. I needed to get a new dentist. And before I got a new dentist, I needed to tell that dentist what happened and why I was uncomfortable and why I'm not going anymore. Because the guy himself, the dentist, is a really nice guy and he's really good, but I can't see myself going back into the office. So the other day, I mean, right into September, I was having a meditation, and I actually hear the letter to the dentist being dictated into my head, and it's my own voice. It wasn't my guide, it was me dictating it to me. So I sat down at the computer and I typed it out like in one shot, went through it, you know, corrected all the typos, and I mailed it yesterday. And I cannot tell you the feeling that that gives me. And it's such a simple thing, right? It's such a simple thing. And you know, I've had so many other huge completions, you know, workshops and travel and articles that I've written and things that I've done. And I mean, those are all really big completions as well. But this little one, this is a really good one. And so that's why I wanted to share with you that it doesn't have to be a really big, I get a thumbs up from Mahina Ku. I appreciate that. But it doesn't have to be anything, you know, what you would consider earth shattering. Although afterwards it felt so good. I felt so good. So like you saw, if you look at my Facebook, I celebrated by going to the beach, going for a swim, rewarding myself for my completion. So there's a number of other things that I'm, you know, looking forward to this month as far as completion goes. I wanted to mention to you that there is another First Steps to Signature Cell Healing, Healing the Self online course coming up. And we shifted it from September to November. And we kind of ran into the timing of summer vacation and people being away. So we're going to give you more time to register. The registration's open now at signaturecellhealing.com. First Steps to Signature Cell Healing. It's a 9-hour online course, and it goes over 3 Thursdays. So it's a beautiful time that we can actually have time in between the Thursdays to interact with each other and to understand what we're doing, right? In case you have questions or you want to do things. So we are focused on that for November. And then we'll also have our first online level 1 uh, workshop coming up in January of 2021. So if you do the first steps to signature cell healing online course, which is 9 hours, and there you learn all of the steps to healing yourself, and also the the self-healing, the 5 breath self-healing meditation, all of that. You go into the first steps, which is in January, and then you begin doing the techniques where you continue to heal yourself, but you facilitate the healing for other people. So we're going to walk you through that, and you need a partner for that when you register for January 2021. And we're all, it's hard to travel right now. I'm not able to do that. So I'm shifting the courses to online, and I hope you'll join me. The registration is really simple. Just ask Lisa. She just registered. I'm kidding. She did register, but we went through a process. So please join me. I would love to see you. We had a wonderful group of people last time. It was so much fun. And we're looking forward to this in the beginning of November. So check it out, signaturecellhealing.com, or it's on my website, KarinnaNielsen.com. And Lisa is saying aloha from Lake Tahoe, and she's happy to be with us today. Thank you for coming in, Lisa. I'm grateful to have you and Diane, your partner with us, your partner for Signature Cell Healing on the First Steps course coming up. So let's get back to the topic now, Ascension and Moving into New Dimensions. So and I'll take your questions on that. And we had some questions of our own. Do you feel complete with the third dimension? So what does that really mean? And for me, it's those kind of things, like that letter I wrote and mailed. For me, I thought, well, I put it off until I couldn't put it off anymore, because it just seemed so obvious that it needed to be done. What are those things in your life? Think about that for you, because I think if you are focused on ascension and focused on doing the healing journey, the self-healing journey that we're all in, you're going to start to feel it in your cells. So if you're doing meditation, or you're engaged in spiritual practices, or even if you aren't, you're going to start to feel that those reminders, or that energy that your higher self is working with you and starting to ask you to look at this, look at this. And then you want to put it back in there again. No, I just don't like those people. I don't want to deal with them. But you have to, right? So the thing that you can change about that is you can't change those people. And what you can change is not changing yourself, but changing how you feel about yourself, about that situation. So how do I feel about that situation that I was in that I wrote the letter? I feel I let myself off the hook. I don't blame myself for what happened. I don't blame myself for not saying something. I just kicked the can down the road, and now I said something, and now I'm done. And I can feel it. So it's interesting that when I was working in the publishing company for Cahill, Fred Sterling, and Master Carroll, we published all the books from the Cahill and Carroll healing books. And the company was called Lightways Publishing. And by the way, there's a special on those print books right now, which are really timely. So if you're looking for the Great Shift book, I mean, that's an awesome book. And they're $5. They're $5 plus shipping. So look at signaturecellhealing.com for that. But whenever we came, we weren't publishers. We were just 3 goddesses that Master Carroll told us, you're going to be my publishers. And so we had to do that journey, right? So we 2 of us were English teachers, so that helped a little bit. So we had to figure out, how do you edit a book, because it's different. What kind of a book was it? They were all channeled books. So we had to figure out, how does that work? How do you create a blue line? This was before ebooks. So how do you work with a print publisher? How much should the print run be? We started, Is it 1,000 books? Is it 3,000? How much does that cost? I mean, what a journey. But we got to the end of these this processes, and Master Kirill used to hold up the books and say, these are not my books. This is my healing. And I thought, yeah, that's my healing too, for sure, man. All the journey that went into creating those books. And so we would ask him, with the blue, we had the blue line, which is the final copy of the book before it actually gets printed. And we'd say, okay, is this book complete? And Master Kirill, of course, would never tell you it's complete. You have to know that yourself, right? So he told us to hold it to our hearts. And if it felt like it was complete, it was complete, because you could feel it. Okay, now there was one time when I did that and it didn't feel complete. And what came up in my mind was something that needed to be edited. So we went back and we found it and we edited it. So my point in saying that to you is your heart doesn't lie to you. Your heart knows the truth. And when you go into your heart, and you might be saying, okay, well, Karinna, what does that mean to go into my heart? How do I know? The more you meditate, the more you pray. Just pray is just a statement of your intention, just saying what it is you want to create in your life. How do you want your life to be? And then get quiet and just start breathing. And just, that can be the beginning of meditation for you if you don't already have a meditation practice. But just get quiet with your heart and just listen. Just listen. And it's going to be a really small voice. And I think, especially for spiritualists, they don't always put it right out in front of us. We gotta listen carefully. You gotta listen very carefully. You gotta turn off the noise of, what is the government telling you to do right now? What is the news media telling you now? What are the fears that are out there that are bombarding us all the time? Turn off the social media. Sorry, Facebook. Turn off the social media. Turn off whatever is bombarding you with their point of view, and get your own perspective on things by going into your heart and check it out within yourself, because your cells have great wisdom within them. The cells of your physical body are holding lifetime after lifetime of experiences. And that's not just in the past, it's in the future. So you have all of the wisdom within you to navigate through the end of this third dimensional experience and to move it through the ascension process into the next dimensional focus of whatever you're ready for. So is it the fourth? Is it a fifth? Is it a sixth? Whatever. It's open to us. We just have to move through our blueprint, our lesson plans, whatever it is. So it's so important that we know our purpose for being here. That's a really important thing. Everyone has a purpose. Everyone has a blueprint that they came with. And, people, I do readings for this. You can look at it in an astrology reading or in a healing or Lemurian readings. But you can access your own blueprint because it's in the pineal gland in the center of your head. You brought the essence of that blueprint with you when you incarnated. So that is your guide to this lifetime that you have. And I also wanted to say that, there was something I wanted to say about ascension. The physical body. So as we go through the ascension process, you're going to feel changes in your four body system. You're going to feel shifting because we're shifting into a lighter body system, right? So if you've got an ache or a pain here and there, that's where the signature cell healing comes in, the self-healing. So check that out, because it's made. Signature cell healing is the healing for the great shifting consciousness. And this is what Conference Sterling and Master Guide Kirill have brought together to guide us through the self-healing process of the great shifting consciousness and the ascension into the new dimensions. So if you feel Like, you know, if you're working through lower chakra problems, digestive issues, or you got a, you know, pain in your back, or headaches, or some people are getting like vertigo because of the shifting light. This is where the meditation practice comes in. It's really important to set aside time and a space in your world to have that time to center and to elevate your vibration. And you can do the self-healing practice on your physical body, because that's part of the ascension, is you're going to feel certain discomforts, I guess you could call them, but you can move through them. And for me, you know, I have them. They can be intense sometimes, but they don't last if I don't, if I deal with them in a healing way. So if I use the signature cell healing and the 5-breath self-healing meditation, they don't last long. So that says to me that I'm moving through these processes and letting things go. That's the most important thing I think I want to tell you for this month, is it's completions and new beginnings. So don't hold on to stuff. Be like Bhavana, sell your furniture. You know, come on back and get new furniture, things like that. I mean, that's the simple thing, but it can be a deeper thing, like you know, maybe where you're living or what you're doing. This pandemic, it is a difficult time for everyone, but it's a time that we can look at the signs that it's showing us. So perhaps if you've lost your job and it's not coming back. Some people have lost jobs that are just, I mean, here in the hotel industry, or in the travel industry, airlines, they're cutting jobs. Those jobs are not coming back. So people are going to have to refocus, and it is a sad thing. It is unfortunate, but it's a time when people are forced to look at something new. And what could that new be? I mean, it's a whole new world with digital technology and different things that we can get into meditation and imagine, what is my ideal profession? What would I really like to do? What could I do to help other people or to help my family? I mean, it's a time of new beginnings. Let's look at it that way. And this month, the September month, gives way to October, which is the 1 month, and that's the month of creation. So we're going to see this completion energy, which might be a little bit difficult now. You know, as far as the planetary alignments go, we still have those huge heavy hitting planets, Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto, and then occasional squares from Mars. So we have all this, you know, aggravated energy, anger is coming up, perhaps, those kind of things. So just remember that it's a time when we can breathe, let it go, and start something new. So we're almost out of time for today. So I just wanted to, you know, get your last questions. I've got a comment here from Mahina Ku. I heard a cool phrase a few days ago: put the thought in your heart, drive and feel what you feel. That opens us to the present vernacular, um, the present. So we're that's very good, Mahina, because if we go into the past, which is everything that's been happening um, over these, you know, past year or so, you know, we can't. It doesn't exist anymore. So you can't go back there. We can know it. We can work with it. We can let it go, but we can't change it. The only thing we can change are our thoughts about it, right? But we can look to the present now, where we are, and keep an eye on the future and create what we want in the future. Create that new, beautiful world on earth. And there's so many negative energies that would want to call us off that. But if we gather together as light workers, we can create a new world now. And that's such an important thing that we're doing, is we're seeding the new earth. You hear that a lot, you know, we're seeding the new earth. Well, the new earth is us. We're part of the planet. We're so connected, all of us, to each other and to Mother Earth. And so every thought that we have seeds the new life that we're going to have here on planet Earth. So I also, before we go, I wanted to mention, I've mentioned the online courses and also the readings and the healings. I know it's a busy time, but I'm still doing the readings and the healings, the distance healings. And also, please keep your eye on Sedona Journal of Emergence, because that's the people there are so kind, and they do such a wonderful job of bringing forth the channeled messages from people all around the planet. It's such a wonderful journal magazine, comes out every month, but in November, they'll be bringing out their 2021 predictions issue, and Goddess Sophia has her channeling in that. We'll have her channeling in that issue, and I'm so grateful to the Sedona Journal people. And you'll find me also in with Goddess Sophia in September and in October, and I'm grateful for that. So you can sign up for newsletters on my website, KarinnaNielsen.com. There's just a monthly newsletter that goes out. Don't forget about the $5 special on Kahu and Kirill healing books. There's also a wealth of information there on Ascension and on healing. There's about 75 MP3s that are like $5 each. They're just awesome. And ebooks, and there's also video tutorials about meditation and doing the 5 breath self-healing meditation. Our next global healing meditation for Mother Earth will be September 29th. That's a Tuesday at 9 p.m. your local time. So please join us. People do that from anywhere around the world at 9 p.m. your local time, and it creates this wave of energy going around the planet. We begin our meditation by sending our light into Diamond Head and listening to the beautiful chant from our goddess sister Mahinaku, and looking at the code for the meditation, and sending our light to Diamond Head. So please join us. There's a web page on KarinnaNielsen.com that will tell you all about it. Also, our next Healing Moments program is the first Saturday in October, October 3rd. So if you have any final comments, I'd be happy to entertain them. I just want you to know that this new dimensional awareness that we're coming to, ascension and moving into new dimensions. Can it be that simple? Well, it's not really that simple, but it can be simple when we listen to our hearts and we take the steps that we know we need to take to let go of what's no longer serving us, that's old energy, and we step with truth, trust, and passion into the new energies. And trust, that's a really big thing, is trusting that we're going to be okay through this process, because as Mahinaku said before in her question or comments, the celestial bodies, not just the planets are assisting us in releasing and looking at what's been hidden for so long. Thank you for that. But also the etheric energies, the guides, the angels, the forces of love and light are supporting this ascension process. So I wish you well in this month of completions and new beginnings, to engage the processes now. Keep breathing. We're all going to be facing things that we really know are complete, and it's an opportunity now to let them go. And I'm talking about your relationships with people. How can you bring those to a new level? Things that are irritating to you, that you think, wow, you know, that person this or that person that, is not that person, it's you. So we have an opportunity this month to really work on what needs to be let go of and step into that new beginning. And I look forward to hearing all your questions. Okay, so Lisa has a quick question. Lisa, I'm going to unmute you. Are you, unmute. Okay. Lisa, quick question.
Hi, aloha, everybody. Hi, beautiful.
Aloha.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hey, I just had a quick question. Your dentist story reminded me of something. And you know, in all the literature and reading of not going back, right? Just moving forward. Sometimes I get a little bit confused about that because there's, you know, just real quickly, if there's a situation or a person or something that happened that, you know, walks across the road of your mind at times, and it kind of gives
Right.
you which to me is like that's not complete, or that's not forgiven, or that's not moved up onto that. And yet sometimes, like writing that letter, I think that's magnificent. Sometimes maybe that isn't a possibility. If you
Right.
were to felt like you needed to release that from you via writing or burning a letter or whatever it is,
There you go.
completion, I assume, I guess, I'm not assuming anything these days, but I guess that that could be done in love
Very
for
good.
not only yourself, but anyone or anything concerned.
Yeah, I wanted also, yeah, thank you, because that was, I'm glad I gave that example now. I was thinking, oh, you know,
Yeah, no.
should I tell them? Should I tell them?
No,
But it's
because
perfect.
they're there, yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, so how do you know? And you're gonna know. For me, in that particular example, I have a energy that I don't let myself off the hook. I have Saturn on my ascendant, and I always have that voice that's telling me, you didn't do it right, you'd better do this, and so I work with that every day of my life. So I know over time, I've realized when I can let myself off the hook, that it's just me blaming me for something. But that one, when I was in the situation, I knew there was some kind of a deep healing lesson plan for me that says when you have something to say, it's about bullying too, right? It's about when do you speak up and say, this is uncomfortable for me, or I just don't agree with you, or I'm leaving now, or something like that, And so I felt to the depths of my cells that this was something coming from lifetimes before. So what we've got now is, and you're right about, we don't go to the past and dredge up stuff. We need to work, but things are going to come up that are karmic, that are things that need to be healed. And as we engage with these things, with these situations, these people, these processes, we're going to start to understand what feels like, oh, I'm just going back and reliving, something that happened, and I can't change that, so I let that go. Or is it something that I need to do something about it? And your higher self, no matter where Saturn is on your chart, for those of you who know astrology, Saturn is that energy that's going to be that voice in your head, like your father. What do you need to do it? And I like your example of the letter, of burning the letter. So if that had been like a situation where I couldn't mail it, or that person wasn't alive, or that person wasn't reachable, or maybe it wasn't appropriate, and for some reason I would have burned it. And I think burning is a good process, because you're releasing it, right? So there needs to be some kind of a release. Is it something you can throw in a river or in a lake? Or river is good because it's moving, right? Or, and I've done that. I've thrown things into a fast moving river and, released them, or burning ceremonies, things like that. But it's the things like every time I picked up a toothbrush,
Yeah.
and I thought, okay, it's, because you got to go every 6 months to a year to get your teeth cleaned, right? That's what you're supposed to do. And then the dentist started calling me, or the office started calling me to reschedule to have my next one, because they didn't know anything happened. I just left, right? So the ball was in my court. It was obvious that the ball was in my court, and it was something that I had left hanging for 11 months because they kept calling. Then the pandemic came and you couldn't go for a while, right? But now you can go. So, right? So, I mean, I was playing this game for 11 months and I knew it. And my higher self knew it, and my guidance knew it too. But the guidance is not going to tell you, go do this. Go do this. You have to feel it in your heart. It has to be you, the human, that makes the step, because then the guides know you're ready. If you're not ready to do it, then you're just going to stay there, right? We're going to stay here. If we're not going to work with these processes, the karma or the things that need to be done to complete our third dimensional experience, we're going to stay right there. We're not going to move forward. I'm serious. This is not something we could skip over now, because we don't want to come back to the third dimension. I personally do not want to come back to the third dimension. So I'm going to get everything done that's in my blueprint as much as I can of these important issues. And for me, that was an important issue of perhaps being bullied in other lifetimes, or not speaking my truth, and giving way to authority without expressing what I felt. So I don't know, how does that help, Lisa?
It actually helps tremendously, and I just our love of Maui and our time there, and we spoke real briefly about that. But yeah, we had a very, very bullying experience, and the native people were wonderful to us. It was just a neighbor above us, and we're probably going to end up selling because it's so hostile. And Joe and I are just like, gosh, we think we're really kind people and did everything.
Yeah.
But when that crosses our mind, and both of us, really, it was so kind of traumatic that we kind of just had to move it out of our atmosphere a little. But I kind of feel like coming back up, because there's going to be needing some action taken, not
I think, in your particular situation, that you did a lot to deal with the situation. It was just for everybody's benefit, it was just, and not giving anything away too much, but it was just a living situation where the neighbors were just intolerable and really mean. And I think sometimes when we're in a situation like that, maybe, in general, it's a sign. If you've done what you can, you've done all you can, sometimes it's a sign to move on.
Yeah, that's what we're
That's
getting.
not the right place for you to be. Right. And you need to look further. And I've had that situation where, well, I would say probably my first marriage was one of those right. where I just kept hanging on, and okay, I'm going to hang on. I'm going to hang on until it was just like right in my face. You need a divorce, And it was irrefutable at that, so, I mean, some things happen that just are signs for us to move on. And
that's really deeply what we're both getting. I think we're just grieving that a little bit, it's okay, because then you're just open up to something more beautiful. So
yes, exactly. Oh, thank you so much for sharing that, Lisa.
Yeah, thank you, Karinna.
Thank you. Good to hear your voice. Love you too. Sandra has and I thank Lisa so much for that question, because that's just a perfect example of sometimes these completions, they're not cookie cutter, right? They're not just, okay, what I explained to you, maybe that doesn't exactly apply to you, or what Lisa talked about doesn't apply to you. You've got to get into your own completions, the things that are causing you anger or pain or irritation. What do you feel you need to do? And get the guidance, go into meditation, do your automatic writing. I love doing that. It's just like a really nice connection into the spiritual world. Just a couple of words or some kind of guidance of what you need to do. And you'll be channeling your own higher self. You'll be channeling the cells of your body that are telling you try this, you know, try this. And if you try it and it doesn't work, then try something else. At least you're moving the energy. You're engaging the energy, right? So Sandra says, in closing here, I just wanted to thank you for being willing to discuss these important topics with us. By the way, I seem to have finally started somewhat, for me, physical healing, that is. That's awesome, because Sandra, that physical healing is where we can start. We can start right there by doing the 5-breath self-healing meditation, and your cells feel the love and they realize, okay, we're engaging in the love now. And then it starts to move your process forward. So I want to wish everyone the most wonderful month of completions and new beginnings. I'm looking forward to talking with you again at the beginning of October, or seeing you in the First Steps to Signature Cell Healing online course. It's going to be great, and it's a lot of fun. And you get the self-healing, the self-healing resource bundle, the digital bundle, which is worth $36 included with your registration. It has ebooks, MP3s, and videos. So, I mean, it's such a deal. So I hope you'll join me next month. And I wish you all a wonderful month of September. Aloha, everybody. Take care.